6:30, I'd like to call this meeting, Apache Junction Library Board, to order. Sancy, would you do the roll, please?
Yes, Judy Borey.
Here.
Samuel Graves.
Here.
Pam Krause.
Here.
Vivian Reisky.
Here.
Vera Walters.
Here.
Lori Wine.
Here.
Pam Harrison.
Here.
And we have Vicki Durain, our guest, and I am here.
Okay, thank you. Has everyone had a chance to look at the agenda? Did I get a motion to accept the agenda?
I motion to accept the agenda.
Thank you. A second?
I'll second.
Okay. A vote?
You don't need to vote. You can just
We don't vote on it.
consent.
Okay. Call to the public.
Oh, acceptance of the minutes.
Letter D.
Letter D.
Motion to accept the minutes. I thought that's what they told me now.
I motion to accept the minutes.
Second?
I second.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Judy Borey.
Yes.
Samuel Graves.
Yes.
Pam Krause.
Yes.
Vivian Reisky.
Yes.
Vera Walters.
Yes.
Lori Wine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. Call to the public. What about correspondence, communication? Anything on that?
No, sir.
Okay. The librarian's report.
Okay. Welcome everyone back. Glad to see everyone here tonight. We're going to start off the librarian's report with a special update about something you may have read in the newspaper a couple weeks ago about our new seed library. And I have Vicki Durain, our Adult Services Supervisory Librarian, here to tell you all about it.
Okay, I thought we would be able to lead that article in this meeting with we are the first in Pinal County, but unfortunately Casa Grande beat us by a week. They have a small seed library as well. Ours did a soft launch on Tuesday. People are checking them out. People are checking out books. They're checking out seeds. We had donations from a national source and also from a gardener in Casa Grande who provided a lot of seeds, a nonprofit organization down there. The concept, it's been around for quite a while, and so at some point we hope that this is self-sustaining, where people will be able to plant, harvest, and return, but we're not expecting that for a while. We'll have supporting programs and that type of thing to start with and to continue on with. Right now, people can check out 3 packs a week on their card per family, and then continue to come in. And like I said, we will have supporting programs for that. My goal, and hopefully Pam's, is to do some supporting gardens outside as well for programming and that type of thing at some point. So this isn't just a standalone collection. This is going to be kind of encompass the area in the library. And it's had very good staff response. It is a staff project. We've got a lot of hands involved with it, and everybody's excited to have it start.
Did anybody have any questions for Vicki about the seed library?
Good for you.
Thank you, Vicky.
That's not a question.
I'm a young man who was.
Yeah, he came in, had been kind of percolating, and he came in and had that project, and he got the stand. They got the stand already and got the first round of seeds for us, and so he's moved on to college, and we're going to maintain and hopefully expand.
Granted, it's been over a decade since I was in high school, but Apache Junction High School had a gardening club when I was there.
Oh.
Is it possible that they still might have one now?
I will check. That'd be great.
And are any of the cooperative extensions going to be involved? Like, I know Tucson has a great, I guess it would be Pima County cooperative.
Yeah, that's a University of Arizona program, and so it's throughout the state, depending on regions. And so Maricopa has a large one. And instead of Pinal County, it's well, I think in Pinal County may as well, but Superstition Cooperative Extension is part of that as well. And so they've done programs, they do them at the Arboretum, and they do them throughout. We've had some at the library. I've talked to her, she's out of phone range a great deal. She's adventuring this summer, but she's excited to get involved with it as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
great.
Is that Carol Parrott?
Yeah, yeah. So,
You said 2 packs of seeds or 3?
three packs.
Each week, 2 weeks?
Yeah, and we're going to see how it goes. I came from Pima County Public Library, and that's a large system, and they have a lot of libraries that have the seeds. So I kind of came up with more grandiose ideas than what we really needed here. And so right now, we're going to keep track of stats, basically just to know what's checking out, to keep an inventory going. But at some point, this is evolving. So that's why it was a soft launch, to see what is needed in this community.
Yeah, so it's 3 packs per week.
Yeah.
Per
Is
family.
there a call to the public to donate seeds?
I'm waiting on that, Vera, until I kind of know what the public kind of knows, I mean, the same thing as we're packaging, it's like, be very careful, don't contaminate, you'll cross seed, all that stuff. We only have heirloom and organic, we don't do any hybrids. If we get hybrid donations, we'll do seed skulls or some kind of craft project with it. So these are all seeds that, that can be returned and used, viable seeds.
Can you request what kind of seeds you get?
Yeah. Right now, I'm just asking for just the seasonal seeds, So right now, we just have the fall stuff out, but we already got seeds for come summer.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are we looking at getting any tree seeds too to go along with
The guy down in Casa Grande does trees, and he sent up some yucca and some Palo Verde. So yeah, he does. It looks like we're going to do a road trip. It looks like an interesting, a cool place, nonprofit down there. He's real big on ending hunger and making things more, more sustainable for individuals. So.
The Tucson Children's Museum has a small gardening section where they teach young kids how to garden with felt, but then for the older kids, when they go there for field trips, they do an actual gardening activity. Would it be possible to branch out and actually have a class for, teenagers on how to garden? Because I know that with this upcoming generation, they want to be more green.
Yeah. Definitely, the children's department's very interested, and the youth department's very interested in it as well. So, be a lot of intergenerational programs, that type of thing, so the whole family can be involved. That's what we're hoping for.
Awesome.
The master gardener and I were talking about taking Apache Junction over green, But and the master gardener that I'm working with from Maricopa County was mentioned in the article, but he's reviving Health Horizons. Smart or Earth Park?
Earth Heart Park.
Earth Heart Park. So he's working on that, and he's looking for volunteers too. We have information about that in the library. So.
Are you also reaching out to people about collecting water, rainwater and stuff for homes?
We'll get, yeah. It's a definitely. It's not just about seeds. It's going to be about the whole sustainable. Trying to live the best you can in the desert.
Well, with collecting water, you do have to file a bunch of paperwork on that. So if you're gonna want to do that, you should probably look into the legal.
Okay.
Because I know that in Maricopa County, it's actually against the law to collect your own rainwater.
Because of mosquitoes?
Just because.
You're
I don't
not
know.
paying for water? If you're collecting it, you're not buying it?
I don't know.
Yeah, but Brad.
It's illegal to collect rainwater?
Yep, in Maricopa County it is.
I wasn't aware of that either.
I
I
was
think
looking
Access
at
is the opposite,
tiny
so.
houses and like tiny house communities that are popping up all over the place, and a tiny house community got fined in Maricopa County for collecting rainwater.
Wow.
And this was just like 2021.
Wow.
Does that include gray water too?
Brad-
I wonder.
Brad Lancaster's he's probably the guy for rain collection, and I think he is in this area at this point. So yeah, we'll definitely have a lot of programs that'll accompany this. So hopefully we'll get a lot of interested people.
Sweet.
Is that it for questions about the seed library? That was a great conversation. Thanks, Vicki.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so moving on to In your packet, you should have the August monthly stats. There was a change on the second page from what was sent to you before this meeting. Our interlibrary loan numbers changed a little bit. But did anybody have any questions about any of the monthly stat reports that were sent out to you last week?
Do you think that it dropped because school's back in session?
I'm sorry?
Like that school started, is that why you think that, like, the numbers probably dropped?
Well, one thing to be aware of, the stats that were sent out, they get a little muddled in June and July because of our reporting process. Because of the annual report that you saw back in June, we have to stop our stats about mid-June.
Okay.
So the June stats were really small because they only went from June 1st to like June 16th. And then the July stats were actually from the middle of June until the end of July.
That makes
So you saw like a really low point, a really high point, and now we're back to August to normal, and our stats for this month are pretty on par what they've been for the past year or so. But I think we did see a little bit of jump in during the summer reading program, and correct, it's not time for our winter visitors to arrive quite yet, so when that happens, we should see a little spike probably in November.
Okay, I was like her, I thought it was because school started.
Yeah, well, yeah.
They have
Okay.
a school library
Anything
to
else?
use.
Yep, I've got some more things for you. Up on the screen and in front of you, you have a flyer for what's known as Universal Class. This is a new online program that we are offering free to our patrons. And we were very fortunate to get this Universal Class program because we are part of the Greater Phoenix Digital Library Consortium, which is 8 public libraries in the area. They bought this product, and Greater Phoenix Digital Library works on the premise of you pay based on your customer usage. So everybody every year pays a $4,500 platform fee. That's part of the consortium. The other Pinal County Library that's part of the consortium is Casa Grande. The rest are all Maricopa County libraries. And then on top of that, we pay a percentage of our materials that are used based on our customer usage. So when they added this product to the Greater Phoenix Digital Library, Phoenix Public Library took on the majority of the cost of it, and the about 25% of the cost was then split between the rest of the 7 participating libraries. So our cost for this product for the year was $316, which is pennies in the bucket. And it is a phenomenal, phenomenal resource. It has over 500 free courses to choose from with your library card. A lot of the courses or the course hours are accredited. So you can get different certificates. You can sometimes get continuing education credits. So it's definitely something for people that are looking to advance their careers to look into, or to just get some general education training. The next slide, and also in front of you, is a list of some of the categories, or actually all of the categories that the classes are contained in. So, for instance, under accounting, bookkeeping, and finance, you have basic finance skills, business applications, software programs. But then you'll also see different categories like homeschooling, do-it-yourself classes, language arts. So it runs everything from academic to hobbies. There's actually real estate on here for those entrepreneurs. So there's a little bit of everything, and it's really a great product to go in and just see all the different courses that you can take. They're all self-paced. There's a couple different ways to access the courses. One is through our special website, and it's on here on the flyer. It's apachejunction.az.universalclass.com. And then there's also a way to get to it through the Greater Phoenix Digital Library. So if you have that app, you would go into what is known as Libby, which is kind of the new Overdrive. And if you go under the extras section, you'll see Universal Class. So all you need is a library card, and you have access to all of this free knowledge and information.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And how long do we get this for?
For right now, it's for the year, and then near the end of the fiscal year, that's when the consortium decides if they're going to continue with the product. So probably around April, they'll be looking at the statistics and they'll be looking at the cost to see if it's a good value for the money. And I think it will be. I think this was a really good value. So hopefully a lot of people in Phoenix are using it because they're the ones that are paying the most.
Who grants the course credit or the continuing education units?
They have a frequently asked questions section on there. There's some steps you have to take. I think it depends on if you want to use it for college credit, you have to submit your certificate from the course to your school. You know how it is with college courses. If you're using for continuing education credit, I think it's similar. Like if you're an educator and you have to take so many CEUs each year to keep your certification. So it's all on there. It gets a little bit complicated, but it's definitely doable. And I just love the fact that it's self-paced. Some of our staff have taken a couple of the courses, and they say that the instruction is wonderful. It's in a video format. So really happy to have that, especially for $316.
Really? Sounds interesting.
If, under teacher preparation, if the AZ and U.S. Constitution course is in there, that alone is a $400 class.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to go check and see if they have that so I can take
Well,
that.
good. Let me know, too. I'd like to spread the word.
Yes.
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah, it's been a while since I had to take those, so back in my teaching days. Any other questions about Universal Class? All right, hopefully everybody will check it out and let me know what you think of it next time I see you. All right, just a little bit of an update on the Story Walk, which I talked about back in June. So we received the just over $8,000 grant from the State Library for our Story Walk. It has been shipped to us, the equipment that is. So that would be like the frames and the stakes that you're seeing here in the picture. So they're being shipped directly to Prospector Park, and when they are received, they're going to start working on we first need to work on exactly where it's going to be placed in the park, because there's a lot of different options. And once that's decided and the overseeding is done, they're going to start installing the Story Walk. So there'll be 18 frames for the story. It's a 2-page spread, and most picture books are 32 pages. So that'll take up 16 of the 18 frames. And the first one will be an introduction to the story, and also thanking the State Library and Parks and Recreation, since they're our partners and so forth. And then the last frame will be a QR code to the survey, so we can see what everyone thinks about the Story Walk. And then if they come into the library, they can get a free day pass for the MGC. So we're excited to start it. We think we've selected our first book, but I'm not going to tell you yet until we know for sure. And it's slated to be the second week of October if all goes as planned. So we will have more information out soon about that. So that'll be a great way to go out with the family, with the grandkids, Sam, and walk through the park, read a story, do some toddler aerobics while you're at it. And any questions about Story Walk?
The second week of October is when most of Apache Junction's on fall break, so that would be great.
Yeah, we plan on doing like a ribbon cutting ceremony, having some programs out there for the kids to participate in. So yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I think we knew that, but I forgot that part. So yeah. Is that their first week or their second week?
Second.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Have we ever thought about reaching out to the Art Commission Board, see about putting some type of shades up for some of these?
That is a wonderful idea. Once we know where it's going to be placed and we know what kind of terrain we're working with, that would be,
Then you can get seating for people. If they're older people, they can sit down, or if you need shade for some of them too.
okay.
Just a mixture of ideas.
So that's the Arts Commission that would do that,
I don't know.
possibly. Arts Commission people, are you listening? We need shades.
I'll talk to them on Tuesday.
Okay, thanks, Pam. You're a jack of all trades. Any other comments or questions about Story Walk?
Sounds great.
Okay, moving on to, it looks just like a shelf of books like you would see every day in the library, but if you look at the very top, you see these wonderful lights at the top. We have new shelf lighting being installed in the Mountain View room. If you've ever been to the library around 7:30 at night on a fall evening when it's starting to get dark outside, it is really hard to see in our Mountain View room because of those big windows and the ceiling lights being so high up. So there were undershelf lighting for these shelves when they were installed back when the addition was put on to the library in the late, 2008. However, over the years, they didn't work any longer. So we have now been able, through our Public Works Department, to get some new lighting, and it makes such a difference and looks so nice in there. So this is just one of the first rows that they did. They've finished the fiction section, and they're now moving into the DVDs, which is really hard to see because of the fact that our DVDs are pushed to the back of the shelves, which makes it even harder to see the titles. You can see we pull our fiction titles out to the front. So if you get a chance, come in some evening and check out our new shelf lighting. We've waited a couple years for this, so this was pretty exciting. Okay, before we get on to the next topic, I still have one more thing. Our new librarian. We have interviewed last week for a new librarian to join us. It's kind of a special position because this librarian will be working in both the adult and the youth departments, assisting with programs. But even more importantly, their focus is going to be on community outreach. So this is kind of a new position for the library. They're going to be developing goals and plans for building community relations and implementing outreach services, and developing partnerships and collaborating with other city departments, local groups and organizations, and schools, as well as attending community events and gatherings. And they'll represent us at public and professional meetings. So it's going to be a very prominent position, so hopefully it'll be somebody that you'll see often at a lot of your other events and organizations that you're part of. We haven't yet received word that the candidate that we're looking to hire has accepted the position yet, but hopefully by the next meeting we will maybe have somebody already on board, and we can bring them into the meeting for you to meet them. And lastly, Sancy remembered that, I believe it was Vera, was asking for the Library Bill of Rights last meeting, and she remembered. I'm glad she remembered. So in your packet, you'll see the Library Bill of Rights, and I know this came up as a topic when we were talking about the age restrictions on the DVDs. So that is it tonight for the librarian's report, unless you have any questions.
Question? Thank you, Pam.
You're welcome.
Any old business? Okay. New business. Discussion and possible vote on updates made to the library program and facilities use policy and the permit for use of library program facilities form.
Thank you. That was a lot of words. We had a hard time writing that, too. So basically, what we're looking to do tonight is to discuss and possibly vote on updating our facility policy. The one that is in front of you and also on the screen is the original. I'm not sure how old it is. I would say at least 20 years old. The reason for updating it is because we want to be in alignment with the rest of the city, especially Parks and Rec, for what they're doing with their facility rentals. And also, as I talked about with the new outreach librarian, if we're going to be doing more community engagement and more outreach and more partnerships, we want to be able to offer space for people to be able to come into the library to do those types of things. So I did pass this through city management, and Bryant actually said that this was a great change because it's very much in line with the efforts and goals that they're trying to reach to connect and engage with the community. And I also passed it through the city attorney, who has seen it and has given it his red pen. Just kidding, Joel. So in front of you is the markup copy of the old library policy of program and facilities use policy. So you can see the red is where we want to change some wording, the strikeouts. The table of contents is just indicating, I believe, that it was a different page number. Was that it, Sansi?
Yeah.
Okay. The major things that we have changed on the policy and the form are as follows. We are looking to eliminate the refundable cleaning deposit. I felt like that was a barrier to access to renting one of the meeting rooms in the library because people, it takes more staff time to be able to collect the cleaning deposit and then to refund it back to them if there was no damage or no further cleaning needed to be done. We have asked to have the public liability insurance, which was a requirement for renting a library meeting room, to be not required, but at the library's discretion. We didn't feel like if the Centennial Group is having a meeting in the library that they would need to pay. Pam's looking at me, that they would have to have public liability insurance. It's just a sit-down meeting. And this is also in alignment with what Parks and Recreation does. Also taking, putting in the option of us to be able to charge a fee for cleaning or damage after the room is used if we feel like it was abused. And then lastly, to be able to offer partial and full refunds, less a 10% fee for adjustments to facility reservations or to facility cancellations. So if you look at this policy side by side with the Parks and Recreation policy and their form, they're pretty much identical. A couple other minor things. There was originally no food or drink allowed in the meeting rooms, so that was amended. And it said that they couldn't use audio-video equipment, and we just added that that could be used with my permission. So I'll give you a minute to look through it, and then if you have any questions you'd like to ask, and the last one is the form.
How many meeting rooms do we actually have right now? Is it just that back room right now that you're referring to?
That's the main one. If it's a smaller meeting, the story time room could be a meeting room over by the castle. There's also what we call in the library the board room, which is where the library board used to meet. It's in the north wing. It's not a large room, but it does have seating in there for about up to 12 to 15 people. So it's a more intimate room.
The crocheting room?
I'm sorry?
Is that the crocheting room?
Yes, that's
Okay.
the Wild West Knitting and Crochet Club
Yes.
room. Yeah. And then, of course, we have the study room that's up in the front, but that one we really have set up to be a free use room and only seats 6 people, so I don't think that would really be one. The North Wing program room, the one that's used for our big events, that's the main room that I think would be affected by this.
On the application, should we specify which room they're wanting to rent?
That would probably be a good line to add, yes, thank you for that. Add that to my notes. Which room? So yeah, on the Parks and Recreation Department, their form looks exactly like this, but they have a permit system that they're able to, on their computers, where they're able to put in the room, and we don't have that. So ours would be more done pen and paper, so that's a good addition to it, to have which room they're renting. And we probably should also have in there, oh, we have it up there, date and hours, okay.
You might want size and number of seating in that room, or what's allowed in that room.
Okay, that's a good one, too. Size of room and capacity.
Who's responsible for the seating? Are you guys going to be providing all the chairs and everything and setting up and taking down? Or is the person that's doing the event coming early to set up the event and put the chairs and tables?
We can give them access to the tables and chairs so they can set it up as they want. Normally, we'll have somebody back there to kind of assist them.
Okay.
I know when you guys come, we already know kind of how many tables and chairs you need, and then you kind of just set it up in your configuration for the night. If it was something that was a bigger event, I would think that we would have a staff person back there to make sure they had enough chairs and tables and everything that they needed.
Okay.
Any more questions on the forms? Okay, then we're ready to go on to, we decided there's no old business.
Do we need to vote on
So
that, Nancy?
we're gonna vote on these forms.
Are we gonna make revisions and come back and let them see the revisions? So then we wouldn't vote? Or do they wanna take the revisions that they've given you and you just wanna put them together? It's kinda up to you.
Okay. I was just saying, do we need to vote on this? And so we have a couple choices. We can, you could vote on it tonight with taking into account the suggestions for revisions that were made by Judy and, was it Vera?
Pam.
Pam, thank you. Or we can do the revisions back in the office and bring them back to the next meeting for a vote then. So it's,
I say we
I think
vote right now.
We're okay with voting?
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Then voting on the new items. Nancy, would you give?
Judy Bory,
Yes.
Samuel Graves,
Yes.
Pam Kraus,
Yes.
Vivian Reisky,
Yes.
Vera Walters,
Yes.
Lori Wine,
Yes.
and that motion is unanimous.
Motion carries. Any other new business? Does anybody have any requests for future agenda items? And do I hear a motion to call for adjournment?
I move we adjourn the meeting.
I second.
Meeting adjourned.
We adjourn. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Good job.